We are into early voting and 2 weeks out from Election Day, and both sides are sharpening their brands and their marketing campaigns. So who better to join us than Donny Deutsch, a branding and marketing expert, and he knows messaging better than many. He helped transform Deutsch, once a small print advertising boutique firm, into a, quote, swaggering ad firm.
Wow.
Yeah, we pulled that
swaggering.
out.
I love that.
Yeah. Now, Donny, I'm going to get right to it. Here's the GOP echoing Trump on this message of fear.
Democrats want to open borders, which equals massive crime coming into our country.
The highest crime rate in the state of Florida. We absolutely need to stress public safety, secure borders.
Every day, sanctuary cities are unleashing vicious predators and bloodthirsty killers.
He supports sanctuary cities. That is radical, that is reckless, and that is not the state of Texas.
The policies of their party aren't just extreme. Frankly, they're dangerous.
We can't let John Tester and the radical liberal resistance win this November.
You don't have the wall. You don't have a border. What you have is you have infiltration of drugs.
We got to build the wall. We need to build it to keep Mexican meth out of Montana communities.
He has an echo. Is it working?
First, let me say, if you're an American and you're not repulsed by the racism, the xenophobia, the entire, and we're going to get into some of these Republican ads, that it is Mexican versus white, it is black versus white, it is Muslim versus white, you don't understand what this country is built on. Is it working? It's working with his base. At the end of the day, Americans are going to have, this election is no longer going to be about Donald Trump, it's who we are. And Americans are going to have to decide who we are, what they believe in. And that small section in the middle, not the 40%, is going to have to make that decision.
But you're saying that the message here is arguing against the founding ethic of America.
Which is we are an open country, we're a fair country. That's what we are built on. And particularly some of the ads that they are running are so xenophobic, are so racist, are so hate and fear-mongering. It's disgusting and it's repulsive. And this is a time, and Kamala Harris was talking about this, this is now a gut check for who we are. Because when you see some of these messages, if you're an American and you don't revile from them and you're not repulsed by them, then you don't understand who we are as a country and what we've been built on.
Well put, and I think it goes to what these closing arguments look like, which we've been covering, throughout tonight's show. I want to show you as well the other side of this. We just gave the Republicans some time. Let's give the Democrats some time. The messaging we're seeing from them depends on the district. Far less nationalized.
Absolutely.
There's anti-Trumpism. There's health care, which we're going to get into.
They also don't have the chance to nationalize because they don't have a daily spokesperson. That's the advantage. Like them or not, there is a daily.
They don't have a tweeter. They don't have a tweeter in chief.
Or a guy who's on the network news every
take
night.
a look at an array of Democratic messaging.
Pre-existing conditions. You get a little bit sick, they might drop you off your coverage. That's not what an insurance system is supposed to be.
That Supreme Court process. Let's speak the truth, that it was a denial of justice for the women of this country.
You know he'll be able to stand up to the payday lenders, and you know he'll be able to stand up to a legislature that's the most retrograde legislature in the United States of America.
This is a simple argument from the Republican side. It's be scared because our borders are wide open and we're letting all the criminals in. And on the Democratic side, they're going to take health care away. And the pre-existing conditions are not going to work. One is a much more left-brain argument. The other is a right-brain argument. What worries me is sometimes the right-brain arguments win because they're emotional and they're fear-based. But that's kind of where the table is set.
When you did corporate ads, you're selling a product, so there's positive branding. In politics, as we know, people need negative branding. The Democrats struggle with that because they try to be the nicer party. I'm being broad, but I think compared to this president, that's fair to say. And there's nothing wrong with being nice. But what about picking a fight? Let me show you for our next cut, for your analysis, Democrats trying to find a corporate boogeyman. Take a look.
Dear Congressman Curbelo,
I thought you had our backs.
But you don't.
you voted with Trump almost 85% of the time.
You voted to hand $1 trillion tax cut to the wealthy and big corporations.
When big corporations call, Troy Balderson answers. He backs their huge tax giveaway that's led to record profits. Now the bill is due, and you're going to pay for it.
You guys paid for this. But what's happening now? Not a joke. Mark my words. If we don't win back the House and the Senate, they are going to drastically cut Social Security.
Once again, that's the top time you have to beat, that they're going to go after Medicaid, they're going to go after Social Security, and they're going to go after pre-existing conditions. And that's going to be the constant theme through the Democrats. The Democrats can't go after Trump anymore. It didn't work in 2016. Trump is baked in. Everybody knows Trump lies. Everybody knows Trump who he is. You can't just point at the boogeyman anymore. You've got to really give them tangible reasons why they should be afraid on the Democratic side. And those are some very, very real reasons.
Well, you have given out advice that some are ignoring. Now, people ignore Donny Deutsch at their peril, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play you a couple ads that are Democrats basically doing that, obsessing over Trump. Take a look.
Barbara Comstock might as well be Barbara Trump stock. Barbara Trump stock agrees, voting with Trump 98% of the time.
Side table, how much was your tax cut?
It was not a lot, sir.
Yeah, but for someone like Side Table, not a lot is actually quite a bit.
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
How often does Mimi Walters vote with Donald Trump? 99% of the time.
No, I'm making a different point. Look, in districts that are clearly anti-Trump, you attach yourself, you got more Trump, you don't want that. Same's on the flip side of Republicans. You attach to Trump if he's working. I'm talking about ads that are basically saying Donald Trump is a liar and Donald Trump is like, we got that.
That are obsessed with his style and how he is.
We can't do that anymore. We've got to do the very hard left-brain arguments. I'm actually launching a team that we put together with the DNC in a couple of days that really hit healthcare, but do it in a very emotional, different kind of decent way than it's been done before.
Which means what?
You'll see him in a couple of days. But we're using a very different type of tactic that I think is going to cut through. That's going to be a bit of a national overlay. Obviously, there's a lot of hand-to-hand combat, daily warfare in the individual races. But
if I'm not mistaken, you just embedded a tease within this television show.
I did a tease. I think on Morning Joe on Thursday morning, you'll see some of that work unveiled. But the thing that really scares me, and you didn't show some of them, some of the Republican ads out there are out and out. There's an African-American congressman running in the Catskills in New York who was once a rapper.
Antonio Delgado.
Yeah, and they're calling him a New York City rapper. Don't let that New York City...
We have that.
Okay.
You didn't know we had that, but we have that. We'll take a look at that.
Big city rapper Antonio Delgado supports their radical government takeover of healthcare. We can't afford big city liberal Antonio Delgado.
남은 조선인민 여러분, late recording. 그리고 통일 기원합니다.
Amar Kapanajjar is working to infiltrate Congress. He's used 3 different names to hide his family's ties to terrorism. Amar Kapanajjar, a risk we can't ignore.
Those were the 3 ads. The second one, xenophobic. That is a congressman who was speaking Chinese because he was trying to make a statement. I'm not quite sure what he was actually speaking, but his statement was
Korean. Yeah.
Korean. I'm sorry, that's right. He was speaking Korean to say that he was hoping there was peace, not anything about jobs.
Right, diplomacy.
And to suggest that that's what it was about is disgusting. As far as the first one, basically what they're saying is that black guy, that city guy, because he rapped at one point, he's going to stand for radical takeover of your health care. And the third one, which was also was equally his grandfather was involved, that he's never met, was before he was born, was involved in the Munich attacks, but to paint him with that, it's the same brush. It's if you're not white, they're coming to get you.
Right.
They're coming to take your jobs. They're coming to take your kids.
And it comes at a time we have a president saying he's proud to be a, quote, nationalist.
Scary stuff, guys.
Donny Deutsch, appreciate your expertise and your moral clarity on some of these issues that require it. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.